We usually group objects together so we can edit complex designs more effectively. Grouped objects remain together when we move, rotate, or resize them. In this way, grouped objects behave as a single entity. On the other hand, a group is a container that includes the original objects. They retain their properties so that we can edit them individually if needed. To group objects, we select them. Then we choose Modify and Group from the menu. In the Layers panel, we can see that the selected objects were replaced with a new group. The group has a button that displays its internal structure. In our example, all the original objects are here. If we click on any object in the design that belongs to the group, the entire group will become selected. If we drag an object, the entire group will move. We can easily resize grouped objects without breaking the piece of the design they make up. To ungroup, we select Modify and Ungroup in the menu. A group can contain another group. See how the Layers panel displays such a nested structure? It can have as many levels deep as it makes sense for you. In order to ungroup a nested group all the way down, we need to ungroup the upper level, the next, and so on. If you'd like to ungroup all of the nested groups at once, just use the Ungroup All command from the Modify menu. Grouping can change the order of objects in the stack. This can potentially change how your design looks. I have an example with 3 overlapping squares, with the small one at the top and the big one at the bottom. If we group the small and big squares, the middle one will disappear. This happens because the objects in the group were placed together on top of the middle square. As I mentioned, editing objects in a group is possible without ungrouping them. Different methods can be used for that depending on what you're trying to do. To edit an object's properties, such as fill color or stroke width, you just need to select that individual object. We do that by clicking on the object in the Layers panel. Now we can change the object's properties in the Appearance, Geometry, and other panels. Another way to select an object in the group is to click on it while holding down the Command key. The isolation mode is useful for manipulating individual objects on the canvas. To activate it, we double-click on the group. In this mode, the Layers panel hides all of the objects except for the contents of the group. The canvas still displays the entire design. Objects outside the group became dimmed, and we can no longer select them. On the other hand, the objects in the group can be selected, moved, resized, and so on. We can also adjust their properties in the Appearance and other panels. As long as you're in isolation mode, new objects that you add to the design will automatically appear in the group. When you are done, just click on the X icon at the top to quit isolation mode, or double-click outside the isolated object. The Selection tool can access objects in the group directly, so we can select or move an object. Once the object is selected, we can edit it using the Selection and other tools. In addition to grouping and ungrouping, the Layers panel gives us more ways to change the contents of the group. I'm going to show you how to replace an object in a group with a new one. To remove an object from this group, we select it and click the Delete button. To add a new object to the group, we simply drag it inside. As partial ungrouping, we can drag an object outside the group. By default, a group has no style. Once we add a fill or other property to the group, it will be applied to the objects in the group on top of their own styles. Apart from groups of the general type that we just saw in this video, Amadine can also create compound and clipping groups. Compound groups are created when you apply the Boolean operations to objects. Clipping groups are created by applying a clipping mask to an object. For more details about compound and clipping groups, please watch the dedicated videos. Finally, let me tell you about a feature that is similar to grouping. It creates compound paths. The Make Compound Path command from the Modify menu merges multiple paths into a single object. In order to separate such paths, we use the Release Compound Path command. That's it for working with groups. Thanks for watching.